MTN SME Hub. Link to growth. Link to success. Link to the ultimate resource for business advice and insights.
Welcome to the Big Small Business Show, the show for all our entrepreneurs out there who are trying to make a life, a living, a legacy out of this entrepreneurship thing. And sometimes we leave the big corporate world and we start on our own. And sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's not okay. But when it is okay and you want to grow, the real question that we have from Karen Goldstone-Hoffman, our guest today, is when is the right time to employ the next person? Let's take a look.
So I'm Karen Goldstone-Hoffman. I am the founding director of GovGrowth. What we do is we offer company secretarial and corporate governance services. I think for many it's like, question mark, exactly what is that? So from a company secretarial perspective, that is where you are submitting documents to the regulator, the CIPC, to make sure that your company stays alive. There's the Companies Act that you need to comply with as well. And that is when, if there's a change in directors, you need to submit that change to CIPC. If there is a change in address that you need to submit. So there's a number of matters that then get addressed from a company secretarial perspective. And then comes the governance side of it. And we all know that governance is all about behavior. So from a governance perspective, that is where we then guide the board in terms of the practices that need to be taken for the board to ensure that they are leading ethically and their leadership is ethical. And there are a number of other matters that are considered within this governance culture, and making sure that ultimately at the end of the day, all decisions are made ethically, with integrity, and with all stakeholders in mind. If I think about being 9 years old and coming back from school and sitting in the lounge, and I would pull the coffee table towards me and really set my books out and put all my homework out, and really had this idea that I was the boss. So this was my office. And then I went into corporate, loved everything that I did, loved the people I worked with, and then COVID hit. And started working at home for a bit. And I think that for many families, it became a little bit more difficult. And in my case, I really had to make a decision. Which way do I turn? The stresses of corporate with major shareholders at the time, for which I was responsible for. And then I had 2 little kids. And there comes a time when you need to decide, what can you get back? And I thought about it. I can always go back into corporate. I can always go back into business. I still have my experience, but I won't have time with my kids. That time's going to go. And that's when I decided, you know what? I think I'm going to start my own company. I think that there's no business owner who does not worry about their cash flow at the end of the day. And like I said, for me, governance is about people. And even without governance, people are always the center of my heart and people who I think about. So when you're employing somebody, it's not about who can I get to come and do this for me, at what rate do they charge me. When you're employing somebody, that's somebody's mom, that's somebody's sister, that's somebody's dad, somebody's cousin. So I do feel that, there's a responsibility to society at the end of the day when you decide to employ somebody as well. So it's that aspect is, would I have enough cash flow to be able to make sure that it is constantly maintained, that I can then make sure that this family has a regular income coming in. But also in my position, it's also a matter of who do I need? Do I need a PA? Do I need a virtual assistant? Or do I need somebody with my level of over 20 years experience in what I do? So it's trying to juggle all that information and find that balance, because where do I need the help the most? So Allon, my question is, how do I take my business from where it is now as a solopreneur selling trust in a governance industry to scaling it to a team who I can trust and who I know that ultimately will continue living out the vision and mission of GovGrowth?
Welcome to the Big Small Business Show.
Thanks so much, Allon. Very excited to be here.
So the question is, why do you want to grow? Because if you're employing, that means you want to grow.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why do you want to grow?
I think every business starts out with this idea that it's not just about you as the founder. You want to leave a legacy at the end of it. So for myself personally, the intention was not just to start the business for myself to make profits. At the end of the day, you also want to make an impact. And it sounds cliche that yes, we all want to make an impact and profit is not important. But at the end of the day, you need the profits to bring in the cash flow, to employ your next hire, which is a scary thing, which is just as scary as starting your business. So, getting your first hire is nerve-wracking. Cash flow. Are you going to have enough funds available to be able to pay that individual? Because ultimately you're responsible for a family. So the business is not for me. The business is to last for many years later when I'm not there, and possibly the people I hire can then run that for me as well.
And do you see part of that thinking, a point where you sell the business?
I don't think so at this point. I don't think selling the business, probably because the type of business that I'm in is a little bit of I'm selling trust rather than a product. So with this type of business, providing this company Secretarial and corporate governance services, it takes a while for organizations to build that trust, because what you are doing is that you need them to buy into the fact that good governance is there for you to make good decisions for the long term. And most importantly, I think we've seen what happens if there is no good governance, instability, there's corruption, there's no investment, there's no job opportunities. So if this company can scale and we have more individuals who are passionate about governance, not necessarily company secretarial, that's very important as well, very important aspect to that. But governance not just being this tick box compliance exercise where it's like, well, we have a template, let's get this done.
So I just want to find the sweet spot, because if you're saying it's about a legacy, that means it lives beyond you.
Yes.
And you're also saying in the same breath, you can't sell it or you don't sell it. So how does it live beyond you if you don't sell it? So how can you hear my contradiction in the two statements? It's not to sell, but I want a legacy.
So if we're talking about selling, are we talking in the sense of sales?
Selling it to somebody else.
Selling to somebody else.
Yes.
Should that happen? Yes. If the opportunity arises and it needs to, yes. And if that legacy needs to live on and selling is part of it, I agree with you. More than happy to do so.
Okay, we're going to have to take a break now. And when we carry on, more questions for Karen. Stay tuned.
MTN SME Hub, link to business success.